the hood champion boxing and sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Frank Sanchez is in an outstanding position. Earlier today, it was announced that Frank Sanchez is definitely in line to fight the winner of Joyce and Joseph Parker. The belief is this, that, and this is what sucks about boxing sometimes. When it comes to guys with all of these belts, like Usyk, depending on wins between him and AJ, right? But there are all these belts. As a result, it becomes a whole lot of mandatories. And they got to figure out who to fight. So what happens, we don't get undisputed fights sometimes because these fees these guys have to pay to these sanctioning bodies is outrageous. And when you have 3-4 belts, it's a lot of money. That's why I think Floyd Mayweather was like, whatever, he'd win the belt and then just give it back, let somebody else fight for it. He'd just go and win the title, but he didn't care to keep it because he realized at a certain point in his career that you can't eat belts. And he became all about money. So he wasn't going to give these organizations pay them just to be their champion. Like that was crazy to him. So anyway, you have a situation now with the WBO strap where depending on the winner of Usyk and AJ, they may feel going up to face a guy like Parker, who Joshua's faced already, or even for Usyk, they feel like though Parker or Joyce aren't really huge names. So they rather relinquish the belt and let somebody else fight for it. Okay? So what happens if Joyce and Parker fight, the winner of that fight now becomes a mandatory to that WBO. And if whoever wins, Usyk or AJ, say they relinquish the WBO now. Now, let's say Joyce wins. Now, Joyce would have to go on and fight the number 3 because the number 1 and 2 in the WBO is Joyce and Parker. So then come in, that's where Frank Sanchez comes in the picture as a number 3 for the WBO. And then he would get a shot. So the way it's shaping up right now is because Joyce and Parker, their profiles haven't really been elevated to that of a Usyk, of an AJ, of a Wilder, of a Fury. The belief is that they won't want to take those fights. They rather give up the belt where they have a little bit of flexibility and maybe take a shot at a bigger name in the heavyweight division. So when you look at that, Frank Sanchez, I've been talking about him for a while now. He's in a great position. Moreover, when it comes to the WBC, he's ranked number 4. So you got Parker, you have Joyce, who are all tied up right now with the WBO. But then you look at if Tyson Fury, he's either going to relinquish the belt or he's going to get stripped. That's what's going to happen with Tyson Fury. Like, these are the talks right now. If you're retiring, go relinquish the belt. If not, he's going to get stripped because all these organizations want their belts being defended. They want activity. They want money. Simple. But if so, then Frank Sanchez would be in line to get a crack at a WBC belt. Could be facing a Deontay Wilder. SF Wilder, he's supposed to come back. That's what the talk is per Suleiman, the WBC president. But Frank Sanchez, by the end of this year or early 2023, he just has to win this fight again. His upcoming fight. He may get in there to get a crack at a WBO belt later this year against the winner of Joyce or Parker. If not, he could be facing somebody for that WBC strap. So bottom line, my guy, the Cuban Flash, Frank Sanchez, is right there on the cusp of greatness and getting the big fight that he wants and getting a real signature strap. Similar to Jaron Ennis. He's right there. It's just a matter of getting that opportunity. But it looks like a guy like Ennis, a guy like the Cuban Flash, they've kind of fought their way into that title eliminator position and now being ranked really high in these sanctioning bodies. And he's gonna get his opportunity. So Cuban Flash is on his way. Hopefully later this year we'll get that. But boxing politics, you never know what's gonna happen. Money talks. But I do think it sucks that a unified champion will see an opponent like a Jaron Ennis, who may be his mandatory to one of his belts, or a Cuban Flash, Frank Sanchez, mandatory to one of the belts, and decide I don't want to fight him. He's not that well known and he's too much of a risk. I'll just give up the belt. That way I can go after a much bigger fighter, but also keep more than likely keep my undefeated record intact. Kind of sucks. I understand. Don't agree, but I get it. And at least if a guy is honest with himself and knows he doesn't want to go that route to take on such a high risk, at least give up the belt. You know what I mean? Don't go to your promoter and whatever avenues or means you have at your disposal and take on a cherry pick. Like, don't do that just because you make a lot of money. I understand, but at the same time, as a boxing fan, give us the big fights. We want to see it. But that being said, let me know your comments below about what you think on Sanchez. His career starting to bubble, man. Getting a crack at the WBO, getting a crack at the WBC. And let me know your comments about that. But also, what do you think about these guys who are unified champions who don't want to take on stiff competition as their mandatories and would rather just give up a belt than actually fight that person? I think that's kind of the easy way out. But I understand. I don't agree, but I definitely understand. But I'd like to know what you guys think. That being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to all the veterans. And as always, I'm in the breeze.